We just finished up a 5-month US road trip, and in this video, we're gonna talk about our least favorite cities that we visited along the way.
I need only you in this crazy world, 'cause we got love.
Much like our favorite cities that we visited, not really sure what the purpose of this video is, other than maybe it'll get some people a little aggravated about us calling out your city as a place that we didn't like visiting. So we apologize if we name a city where you guys live in this video, but we're just kind of giving you guys, our opinion on why things maybe didn't meet our expectations or why a city didn't really measure up to what we wanted. Now, this one might be the most shocking one of all of these that I'm about to say, because I feel like I've never met anybody that didn't like this city, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Denver, Colorado. It was very underwhelming. It was nothing like what I thought it was gonna be like. And that was really disappointing because everybody always talked about the mountains and how beautiful the view is there. But then when you were in the city, like the mountains were so far away and they were like so little. But then in Vegas, the mountains are so big. And we live 5 miles from the base of the mountain. It was just really sad going there. Ever since I was a child, I had always wanted to go to Denver because I had always heard of people going on vacation there and talking about how beautiful it was. And it didn't stand out to me as one of the most beautiful places in the United States. So it was a very sad time.
Gary, Indiana was one of my least favorite places. I really wanted to go there because I wanted to see the childhood home of Michael Jackson, which that's the whole reason we went there and saw it. It was cool to see some of the murals, but the town in general is just very sketchy.
Was there a stop sign or what? There was some intersection that was super weird. Do you remember that? It was there wasn't stop signs or something either way, and it was a main road. I was like, what is going on?
I don't remember.
I was like, I feel like somebody stole the stop signs.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a stop sign there.
Yeah,
and it
it's
wasn't
just
there.
kind of
the post was there, but there was no sign
let's
on
go.
it. We also got a nail in our tire when we were there, but that's because we drove through an alleyway, and then a nail went into the tire, and we had to drive an hour away to get to a discount tire so we could get the tire repaired.
It was cool seeing Michael Jackson's childhood home. It was extremely tiny, and there was a gate around it.
And it was raining. I did not care for Cincinnati, Ohio on our road trip. To me, it almost reminded me too much of my hometown growing up. It reminded me of Cedar Rapids a lot, except for the fact that they actually have pro sports there. So that's pretty cool because back home, Iowa in general, no pro sports. Cincinnati reminded me a lot of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'm just I don't know if I'd want to live in a place like this. And then if you just continue down the border a little more south, you'll hit the southern Ohio tri-state area with Kentucky, West Virginia, Huntington, Ashland, Portsmouth, all that area. That's actually where McKenna's from, but it's too country bumpkin for me, way too country bumpkin for me. That's not a place where I'm man, there's a lot to do there. Every time we go there, there's not a whole lot. Especially when it floods, then you can't drive half the places because half the roads are under the water.
Both of us can 100% agree when I say this one. New York City.
I would go back, barely.
If we had a specific thing to go back for.
If we can stay in Brooklyn or something.
Okay, that
made it so
bad.
easy.
Yes, that's true.
But if you're staying in Long Island and trying to commute, no, thank you. You got to be downtown if you want to enjoy New York. It was too much, and all that everything is so squished, and everybody lives on top of each other, and I'm no, and there's trash everywhere. They don't even use trash cans. They just throw trash bags out in the street, and they get ripped open, and they're just all over, and I'm
it's gross.
Now Colorado was very underwhelming for me, but I would probably go back. But this is a city that I have no real desire to go back to, and it is Miami, Florida, because it is just not my vibe.
I would go back to Miami.
Heck no.
I hated the traffic, but I would go back.
No, everybody's driving around with fancy cars, trying to wear all this fancy clothes. Everybody's honking at people before the lights turn green, and people are peeling out and driving fast. People were going so fast there. People would drive 110 and weave in and out of people, and I'm we're going 60, bro. There's no need to go.
The speed limit's 25, and we're going 60, and look at you.
No, for real, there would be times where I'd go 10 over, and I would be getting passed by people going like 30 miles an hour faster than us.
I
Like
don't
they wouldn't
even
just
know
creep
how
past
they
us.
had the opportunity to go that fast. Like,
It was-
it's crazy.
It was scary. I just didn't like the whole vibes that the whole city was putting off. It's not me at all. So I was like, nah, I'm good. Miami, you can keep yourself.
Now I'm stealing this one from Kyle's list because he's the one that wrote it down. It's not necessarily my answer, but Kyle wrote down Destin, Florida. That was actually one of the places I wrote down on my favorites list. So why did you not like Destin?
It was just very like.
It was rainy the whole time we were there.
No, I know that, but it was like too small and like it reminded me of like Southern Ohio cities. Like when we were there, I was like, this is like Ashland, Kentucky, just on the ocean. That's what it reminded me of. And I don't think I ever told you that on the trip, but like there were so many times where I was like, dude, I just feel like I'm like back home where you live. Like everywhere we went there, I was just like, this feels like the tri-state area. And I was like, I'm good. I didn't care for it. Sorry. It's just, yeah, it was all right. I'd go back to Pensacola though. We didn't ever go through that on this road trip.
we need to do
So I got to take her because I was there for 4 months tech school for the Air Force. So I would love to take you there because Pensacola was cool.
when it's not raining, like it wasn't Destin the whole time we were there.
Yeah, true. The last city that I have here that I didn't really care for
I'm sorry,
is going to be
Alex.
Dallas, Texas. Now, when we were going to Texas, we were like super stoked from the beginning of the road trip. Even the last like year or two, we were like, oh, we'll probably like get a house in Texas one day because, like, I mean, for one, the housing market is fairly cheap there compared to like Vegas or like other major cities. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited to go there and look to see what it has to offer. And we got there and it just, I don't know, there was nothing that stood out to me as, wow, this place is like beautiful and gorgeous and awesome. And I'm sure we just like didn't hit the right places or something, but it just didn't do anything for me. And then being back there reminded me again of living in Tornado Alley. And I was like, nah, fam, I'm not trying to get swept up by a tornado. So I grew up with tornadoes. I thought they were awesome. But now that I live in a location where like natural disasters are basically non-existent, we get flooding here, but our house is high enough up in our neighborhood area and everything that we don't have to worry about flooding in our house. I really enjoy just not having to worry about natural disasters. And tornadoes can be like, boom, out of nowhere, your house is gone, your whole neighborhood's gone, and then sucks to be you. And I'm like, no thanks.
With all of this being said, we hope we didn't offend anybody who lives in any of these places. But I also think that where we were moving way too fast, if you've seen our other videos, we talked about high parts and low parts of our trip. And one of the things is that we were moving way too fast to really get to enjoy all of the places that we were going. So I think that definitely plays a factor into the reasons why some of these places may not have been our favorite. Even if we would go back, they probably still wouldn't be our favorite place, maybe. But I just think that we didn't get to truly enjoy each and every place that we were going to because we were just moving way, way too fast on the trip.
We also probably didn't go the most ideal weather.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we went at a different time of the year, possibly, it would make it more enjoyable to be at a lot of the places.
Yeah.
But since it was like kind of this rainy season that we were going through the South, it didn't make it motivating to get out and actually experience the place.
So with those factors and just our personal experiences, these were the places that ended up on our least favorites list.
But just like Denver was very underwhelming for me when we were traveling through, it didn't live up to the hype that I thought it would. What are cities that you guys have actually visited or been to, or maybe even countries, where you were expecting something to be different than it was, and it left you feeling shorted, like you were missing something?
Like Bali, Indonesia.
Yeah, Bali really was an underwhelming experience. So comment down below what you guys think for underwhelming cities that you've been to. And it could be something that is even on this list or that's on our favorites list. But we would love to know your guys' opinion down below. And we hope to see you guys in our next video.